Bhagavad Gita, the great Indian scripture, or ancient scripture, is the Bible for spiritual quotient, or the spiritual science. Everything is there in it. It's talking about reincarnation. It's talking about karma. For some people, it's karma yoga. For some, it's jnana yoga. It talks about dhyana. It covers everything. Jatasya dhruvam mrityuhu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Anything that comes into life must die. Anything that dies must be born again. Which we're understanding through quantum physics a bit, but it's always there. The death is always there. In our whole practice, it is about overcoming the fear of death. It's about understanding that there is no death. When we truly understand this, then we let things happen when it comes to our health, when it comes to any failures, because many times we're not in control. One is to understand that it is impermanent, so why bother? Second is to understand that there is continuity. There is continuity, so we continue the journey on the other side. Jatasya dhruvam mrityuhu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Guaranteed that the one that is born will have to die, guaranteed. The guarantee that one that dies must be born again. A old woman goes to Gautama Buddha, as child dies. And so she goes to Gautama Buddha because Gautama Buddha is a great master, and asks him, my son died, please help, do something. I need your desperate help because his only son, after a long time is born, I need him. Please help. So Gautama Buddha looks at him, looks at her, and says, okay, fine, I'll bring him back to life. But I want you to go to the village and then bring a fistful of mustard seeds from that house where they did not experience death in their family. Any house where there is no death, you bring a fistful of mustard seeds, then I will get your son alive. So that woman could never come back naturally. Our entire practice ultimately culminates in recognizing that the death does not exist, that is impermanent, that there is continuity. Then we become completely free free from those worries completely. Because the first thing that happens is anytime anything comes, obviously you're going back to the drawing board about our survival. Very first thing, basics of will I exist? Will I be healthy? Can I survive? We drop everything we do. We have businesses, we have things, we've seen everything has been dropped and then been quietly protecting ourselves at homes because it is always about that fear of death. But when that conviction, just the way conviction that my thoughts create reality can become stronger and stronger and stronger with more meditation, we also have to get to that conviction that there is an other side, there is a greater side, and there is this impermanence that everyone in my family have come for their own experience. So who am I to really think that I'm the savior to help them? If I'm not there, they're going to get to roads. All of those, they have to become stronger and stronger. And then how do they become? We have to experience more beyond the body. Through meditation, we have to continue to understand more. We must read this Bhagavad Gita, at least some highlights of it. And many of us must have heard. It's so irony that in many homes, when there is death, then first thing they do is to play Bhagavad Gita. It also became like a signs of death, and so people stopped listening to it, because if you listen to Bhagavad Gita, that means something happened in our homes. That's also there. That notion has slowly built up, particularly in Andhra. Because Ghantasala, this famous singer, sang this beautifully. That it is played in Telugu. I grew up listening to Bhagavad Gita quite a few times because my grandmother was a sannyasini. So she took to this very early age. By the time I am just 4 years, she was already in orange robes, and then she would entertain many gurus coming to home. It was regular that we have to read Bhagavad Gita for her and a set of her group of people, as well as read Rama and Mahabharata, some of these two elders in the village that I was born in. So those memories are alive. Then, of course, Patriji did great rendering of Bhagavad Gita. Perfect. Now it's available in Hindi, it's available in Telugu, Tamil, English, not there yet. We'll be getting to this early next year. But if someone is there who feels that they are very good at writing and translating from Telugu to English, then we'll be happy to work with you, or Hindi to English. An excellent understanding of Bhagavad Gita rendered by him. But the point in the context of understanding the personal reality, this point has to be understood. One must explore this. 80% of our meditation practice, or 90%, is about living this life perfectly, beautifully, happily. But there is still the 10-15% is always holding us back from doing bigger things. And that is exploring the nature of our life beyond life. If this 80-90% is 80% of the books we recommended there in the first day, Monco sold his Ferrari, You Are the Placebo, Biology of Belief, they all have a great model to be happy. But there are a few, I'm sure we must have recommended, Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. Must explore that, using that explore that there is life beyond life. All Theosophical Society's books we have to read. Theosophical Society, where it's all started from them. Until then, it's never documented any of this life after life concepts But they started documenting. Leadbeater, Anibisint, they came together in early or mid 1800s and started documenting many of them in a way that they wanted to not only document but actually take it out to take it to the world. Because somewhere science separated consciousness from the matter, so it started getting hushed, it started getting dropped. We're not encouraged to talk about it. Then you look at it and say, oh, you're being very unscientific when you talk about something that you can't see, taking out that subjective experience completely, because everything had to become objective. So Theosophical Society did great job, and the headquarters in Chennai, by the way, in India, Chennai, Adyar. So there's several books on these concepts from them. And now there is any number of New Age masters, mostly coming from West and writing content on this. Bhagavad Gita is a great read. If it's rendered nicely, correctly. So friends, if reincarnation is understood, death is understood. If death is understood, reincarnation will be there. Then everything falls in place. We can work through our situations of life. Extending life through many tubes and cords. Extending life through many tubes and cords because we have money. The consciousness suffers. If we see the side of the story by reading people who narrated what happens to them, because we extend our life through tubes and cords significantly, artificially, but it suffers so much at the end of a fag end of the phase. Soul suffers so much at the fag end of the phase because we're artificially extending it. What should have been a natural. So it goes into severe more traumas. When it goes into serious more traumas, then it takes more lifetimes to undo the traumas. So we were understanding from consciousness evolves life and goes off reincarnate. As it reincarnates, now it has to do something. So it's taking various roles, like a movie, like a drama, actors come and go. The world is a stage. We're all mere actors. We start and fume and we depart. William Shakespeare. So we take roles, actions, we go back. So why bother? Why get attached to each other? Why attach to my property? And why go and do to any extent to save my property? I've got just maybe $3,000 is all I get. And then every penny is mapped so much that by the time 7th or 8th comes, all that money has been given away. I'm paying 2 EMIs for this and then 2 EMIs for that. I'm paying this, I'm doing that. And nothing is left out. By 7th, nothing in the bank, and you start looking for the next pay slip, and then 21 days are gone. And there is so much tensions because there's so many tensions at home. You say, let's go for vacation, no money, we'll do it next time. So there's constant battle. Children are brought up with an understanding that money is scarce. What we think and what we say is what they gain. Money is scarce. So there's no abundance in their life. So we have to think that I have to work very hard. My dad really struggled to go through it. Who are we doing? We are only doing second home, third home, fourth home. There's no end to it. So we bring it so much onto our health. the more we understand. I'm so inspired by Karthikeyan's illustrious career, but then leading a great simple life and then yet continue to contribute what is true, making the difference to the lives by sharing and communicating and connecting people. Never about accumulating, never about talking about managing this property, that property, never about those. So we reincarnate, we take roles, law of karma, we fully understand it. So situations come, we know why it's coming. If somebody suddenly duped me in my business for a CR or crore, I don't know, $1 million, we must understand, what is this? What am I learning through this situation? How is it possible that my money is going away? And go back and look at a different angle rather than trying to go around the courts or this and that and then try to chase. And it must be done. There is no doubt about it, certain things, but you got to be very clear. Did you in the first place, use the money well? What could have caused this? How true to your conscience you are today? And then if so today, then keep going back into the past and it happened. Either if you want to analyze that way, or you feel strongly that I must go and then give a complaint, give it, and then let it continue. But as the perspective comes, our money is lost, our money is suddenly going away when we're not putting to the right uses, now or in the past, often. So we don't end up wasting a lot of time around going around, lawyers and courts when things happen. Instead, we have a perspective, a different perspective, look at it. And then we'll get answers from there. So from law of karma, we said law of hastening progress, constant progress. Everything we're doing is always success. Everything we're doing is learning. Even if somebody is sitting at home, not doing anything for the whole lifetime, they're developing remarkable patience and understanding. No matter what life around is like very busy and fast and going, people come and tell, but they still are at home, just their own nicely. They'll have their cup of coffee, they'll go for a walk, come back, stay there. And then after understanding, I'm saying, when they understand, then they stay there, not get perturbed. They'll probably get some income from somewhere, and so they're happy. But the key is to be happy, not get. And if you see some people like that, then that may be their lifetime design, because they've done, ions of work in the past, maybe full of work and work and work in the past, maybe. So they decide, okay, let me just relax now. That's the way we take breaks, 1 month break to 1 year break in between. So the person might have been taking a break for the whole lifetime, but then we cannot let them be that way. You're a waste. Why are you just lazing around? You just can't get anything done. Look, people, they're all settled in their life. We have a perspective, a different perspective to understand and explain answers. When we have law of karma and then reincarnation understood, that everything that is happening around, a mother has 5 children, not everybody the same, we know it. Why? They're being given the same environment, same education level that dad is definitely trying to give, but then why they're not different? I mean, they're all different. Some are very rich, some are not rich. Some are highly successful, some keep failing. There's a design, individual designs we know. We got to understand that there is a path for each and there is a design for each. But every time everyone is going through, they're succeeding. Just because if my brother is failing and a second time and a third time doesn't mean that he's a failure. He's learning from where he is. That's what is love. Progression. Always there is a progress. Always there is success. We should now look at failure as a failure. Instead, it is something for the learn to learn. We ought to take that too. We learn from every situation, not take it as a failure. Yesterday, Patri was talking about don't count losses, count a profit. Look at what is there in it for somebody else or for yourself. A law of hastening progress is yoga, the meditation that we have taken in. Before meditation, everything is like an illusion. We think that is real. So we get stuck. So it takes time to come out of it. If I lost property, then I'm stuck in it. I'm going after to any extent to do anything to get over that other person. And we waste a lot of time not recognizing that it could have been caused by me alone in the first place. When we extend the horizon, it'll become obvious, right? If you did something to a colleague or to a company in one company, then you quietly move on to another company. This thing drags on somewhere in the other company, and then it comes back onto you in a differently. Now, if you know the past, then your approach towards aggressively going after the company is different. Because you say, yes, somewhere, okay, chalo, yeah, so I've done this earlier, so I'm paying for it now. If you didn't know it, then you aggressively go after it. But just enough of it is enough to understand that constant creation by ourselves, my thoughts and feelings create a reality, is always working as a free will being. So everything that's happening in our life is a situation that we have drawn into it. That is a perspective that we have to look for. Anything happening in our life, whether it's poor health, whether it is business failures, whether it is relationship failures or successes, you have to look at that, and it's purely through our own thought and feeling and intent from now of the past and from the past. So law of yoga is telling that when you introduce meditation, that means when you understand the consciousness, when you start experiencing the dual self, non-dual self, the other side, then you start recognizing that everything is temporary. And you start understanding spiritual science. Now you accelerate. That same thing, that a failure happened, you lost something, you no longer go after the other guy first. Instead, you start looking inward to say, what could I have done better? So then it leads to a better solution. And so it's an hastening progress. Things happen. It's a catalyst. It's a catalyst. Normal process takes 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 1 year. Now with meditation, as a catalyst, then things will happen faster. We don't go after the wrong things. At the same time, we expand our consciousness that if I'm aiming for this much pleasure, now I aim for larger. I aim to go to Western Ghats here. Now suddenly I say, why Western Ghats? Why can't I go to Himalayas? Yes, it costs more money. It's more challenging, but I'll go. Very quickly, we start expanding our goals, our dreams, because everything is experience. So larger than you're experiencing a lot many. You keep moving forward. So dear friends, love, yoga, meditation is helping us hasten anything that we do. It's like a catalyst of chemistry. Infinity will understand after meditation. Relax yourself, sit comfortably with your eyes closed. We observe a normal, natural breath. Our goal is to empty the mind of thousands of thoughts. So when we observe the breath, it's sitting comfortably as you see in the picture, on the floor or in the chair, with hands, fingers into fingers in your lap, eyes closed, specs removed. Observe your normal, natural breath. We want to empty the mind, thousands of thoughts. When you observe the breath, mind becomes empty. In case you get thoughts, bring your attention back to the breath again and observe. This is called breath mindfulness meditation. Our day 1 and 2 videos from this program explain in detail the science behind this technique. And before we're doing this anapanasati meditation, a breath mindfulness meditation, to empty your mind and stay in that state for a long time, we will also do something called heart elevation process. Just follow my guidance activity, friends. I'm playing music. I'm also guiding for anybody new. Relax yourself. Sit comfortably with your eyes closed, dear friends. Dear friends, dear masters, with your eyes closed, specs removed, keep your hands on your chest area and rest your attention on your breath and on your sacred heart. Take a slow, long, relaxing breath, and can you feel your beautiful heart? Breathe more of that slow, long, relaxing breath and feel your sacred heart, which is helping life thrive with its love, joy, gratitude. Breathe into your heart center of this slow, long, relaxing breath and feel the beat and rhythm of your own heart, dear friends. The more you are with it, the more you energize it, the more coherence you bring between your heart and mind. Can you recollect an experience from your life where you felt enormous love, joy, gratitude, compassion, and relive that moment? Relive that moment of love, of joy, of gratitude, and feel that energy inside your beautiful heart. We are all deeply interconnected. Deep inside, we are specks of energy connected to each other. Love is the way, gratitude, compassion are all the way to experience that connection again. And friends, slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation with your fingers into fingers. Resting your hands comfortably in your lap, observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath, dear friends. Our goal is to empty the mind. Our goal is to merge into that greater emptiness, that consciousness. Your non-dual self. With your breath, observe your natural, normal in breath and the out breath. Allow yourself to slowly become empty. Observe any sensations in your body. Allow yourself to merge into that emptiness, that energy inside of you, all around you. Allow yourself to experience that emptiness inside of you, all around you. become aware of that emptiness where there's no body, where there's no thing, in no place and no time. When we empty our mind of all thought, remember, we withdraw the attention of the matter, we experience that greater emptiness, that light, that void. That's energy. All emptiness is energy. Allow yourself to stay connected to this unlimited quantum energy field with endless possibilities. The longer you stay present with it as no body, as no thing, dear friends, the more possibilities you draw into your life. Stay aware of that emptiness, that blackness, that light on your left side. Become aware of that emptiness, that energy on your right side. yourself. To merge into this greater emptiness of yourself, your divine consciousness. The longer you stay connected to this field, to this energy, to this emptiness, dear friends, the more one we become, the more whole we become. Friends, it's an honor and pleasure to be experienced in this life at this time of history. It's a privilege. Let's express gratitude to all things and everybody for helping us live this beautiful life. To your parents, to your teachers, mentors, your family, your friends, your colleagues, to this nature, to the animals, the bird and the fish, to all things you use, the technology, to yourself and to this intelligent universe. Recollect your experiences from the session. How did you feel? What did you experience? And slowly, whenever you're ready, you can keep your hands over your eyes for 5 seconds. And then you may open your eyes. Okay, friends. Hope you're able to experience yourself more. You must keep trying classical new music, different instruments, different things. There is tons of music out there on YouTube. I'm sure you know it. So spiritual quotient, we're understanding so that we can have perfect, a meaningful explanation to the life events. And so then we can move forward. Otherwise we get stuck many times. We're stuck with something, not having an answer. Let me share a slide. Heraclitus said, no man can step into the same river twice because it's a new man and a new river. So we're never the same. That's the point here. We are never the same. Every minute our mind is changing. As the mind changes, our understanding changes, our reality is changing. Body is producing 1,000,000 cells, leave out the blood cells, 1,000,000 organ cells that are produced, 1,000,000 of them at least and more per second. So it's constantly regenerating itself. So we're not the same. And so is the river. When the point where you are getting into the river is every minute, every second it's changing because of it, there is a flow. So what you touch is no longer there because the next moment you're touching something else. So if you're a river of change, we're constantly changing, and we're no longer that old self, then why hold on to it so much is the understanding. Why hold on to this past so much? That's why when Patrici says, do not analyze experiences, things happen, because don't hold on to something too much. You're anyway a changed person, so you are new now, so why hold to go and then conclude based on past? That's why I never liked companies. Rather than understanding a person from now, they look at several past things. Sometimes they go back to 15 years, 20 years. They want to go back and then do what? Just a procedure. In my view, it has no meaning at all when you have a person in front of you, because that could have been a totally changed person, no matter what the situation for the person had been in the past. Because lack of intuitiveness makes people to go mostly mind-driven process and procedures. So we go back and then look at the data, always want to put on the data, and then very least a zero of your subjective intuitive experience of whether the person is good, not good, whether they can help to us and not help. Because no meditation. But the leaders are always taking calls based on their gut, their intuition. There is a lot of data, but several times you have to make a tough call. You have to make a different call than what the data is telling you. And they're always making that call though. Setting aside everything that you have of the past, you make certain calls. And so the same way, set aside everything that happened in the past and then go forward because you change person, and then you can have a different life completely. So spiritual quotient, wait a minute, what is this? You're completing this wheel of circles in this course. SQ is giving meaning and contribution, meaningful life, contribution, life full of contributions. So make a difference, that's the word. Am I making a difference? What am I doing that is contributing in a way that makes a difference? So SQ, there are 5 areas that we understand this into. We talked about this 6 theories of spiritual science. And the last one is the law of infinity. So we understand, expand that infinity here in this circle. Everyone is inside me. I'm with them, they're with me, because I'm this big field. The second one is that I have this infinite potential. The infinite field, infinite potential. And I'm creating that potential through my own efforts. And this infinity exists not only for me, for everybody. Now, this infinity is intelligent. It's not some dumb matter, molecules, and atoms. It is intelligent. It is this consciousness, the awareness, which always seems to be doing right things at the right time for us. So the higher intelligence is helping me. This is a perspective that we are developing as we understand these various sciences as well as spirituality from the scriptures. So first one, dear friends, everyone is inside me. So scientifically speaking, we are that connected energy field. Our week 3 experiments that are done, the quantum physics that I talked about, we are this big energy field connected to each other. So the moment you're connected, there's no separation, you become that field. The moment you become that field, then everybody else also is part of the field. So we have one, right? Simple. So in meditation, when we experience this, hey, I feel that deep, big ocean. I feel like I'm like this ocean, calmness exists inside me. So that's a sense of experience this energy field that you are much, much larger than you are big as this ocean. I'm like this sky. I'm this big sky, and I'm there somewhere, and this black exists all around me. I didn't feel like coming out. That's because you're experiencing this great oneness feeling at that point. So when we experience this, when we recognize this, when we understand this concept, so we're no longer making decisions only for us. The first thing you think is that, hey, how will it help other people? You start wanting to naturally go and help. Just this. The other way to look at, when we understand, we start making, when I learn to do, to be. So when we understand that, yes, we're all the same. So why not, when I'm trying to get something for me, can I get something for this person also who is next to me? What is so natural for us when we deal with our close friends and family also becomes natural to extend that helping hand to everybody around. That is it. This understanding will change the way we think. Separateness to oneness. In offices, it has to become one team. It's no longer my promotion, my recognition, my team, my division has to absolutely be the number one. So let me see how to pull the other person down, how to hold this back, how to expose them. A lot of things will go away. What do we get by exposing somebody? If the intent is to expose, then everything is slowly collapsing there because everybody senses what your intent is. If the intent is to improve, then you will do differently. You will have the colleague appear, call them, have a nice cup of coffee in a friendly manner, just the way you would sit down across with your child. You don't expose your child, you want to improve the child. So you sit down in a nice, bring up their mood to the nice feelings, and then you put some your point across to them. In a way, their strengths are encouraged and then the weaknesses are identified to them in a nice way. There's no exposing a child, right? Between a father and a child, there's never exposure. It is always improvement. That's what it becomes. The moment we become separateness to oneness, we understand it. All colleagues are same. All of us are the same. This is a cultural shift. The shift we have to have the shifts if we want to really succeed in this new normal. The second understanding of this infinity is that there is infinite potential in me. Right? First is this infinite field, consciousness everywhere. So I'm that, right? And then there is infinite potential with me. Because we saw that, right? In this field, we're all interconnected. Now it's all set of electrons, atoms, neutrons, and all of them are there. Now they're all interconnected. They all are waves. They become waves. So now what do? You can manifest any combination of any pattern of them. And so any pattern of them means any experience of life. You have a group of 1,000 people. Now you can have an experience with all 1,000 by doing something very innovative. So all 1,000 come together and cheer you up. You can have an experience with 2 people in your chilly office. Everything is an experience. It's nothing but a mere collapse of possibilities of those consciousnesses together. So the unlimited potential. So what can experience is unlimited. It is a quantum model where the field has got infinite possibility. So we can collapse the possibility no matter what. We can grow the company at 50%, at 100%, at 0%, up to us to decide. When a team of leaders rally around a common goal, they'll absolutely inch forward, which we always know that. Startups succeed because very few divergent minds exist typically. And then you can green that growth is because of that. So when we recognize this unlimited potential in me, then this fixed mindset that I cannot do, it is not possible, I have to save myself, those will go away. Because we are empowered now. We also learn the manifestation techniques to create a possibility, visualize and dream. We become that CEO like CTO or CXO like Sridhar Saraswati. In March is written in this workshop, a vision board. You always have at the back of your mind, but you write it, concretize it, that idea, that vision board, you put it on there. You take a moment to go into yourself, slow down, and then coolly develop that vision board, and then dream about it, look into it every day. It's got to come true. I'm sure he's going to manifest his crores, that revenue that he's looking for. It's got to happen. Next. That's what happens when you are on these longer retreats. You slow down. Many people say by the time they finish the retreat, they have a great amount of clarity of how to drive towards a mission or a goal that they have. Things that are not happening for them. Because we slow down. Simply speaking, we slow down. Changing the environment to slow down. So fixed mind to growth mindset we become. We go into growth mindset. Of course, meditation is also, we understood during week 2 that there is neurogenesis happening. That means neural networks are getting formed. Rigidity to neuroplasticity is coming up. So that means you have to learn, you have to experiment. Experimentation requires new learnings. And so the new learnings are happening constantly because it's a neural connection rewiring. So I feel like taking new growth mind we become. It's a delight for the organization to have employees be thinking I can do. They replace the words. These are the words. When a manager comes and when an exec comes and says, guys, we have this great opportunity. Shall we do it? Some are immediately responding saying that, oh, such a big client, we don't have experience. I don't think we can do it. It's come from a past. Whereas some who are this growth minded are saying, oh, wonderful. There's a beautiful opportunity. Why not? Let's go after. Both responses are there. So we become growth minded. So we constantly are looking for newer possibilities to happen. The third thing we understand is, dear friends, we squarely understand that I'm the one who's creating it. So growth-minded is not perturbed by the market condition, not perturbed by serious employees leaving. Sometimes a manager feels, oh, my most critical employee left, so I can't do it. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Clients feel that way. But if you go back and look at it, nothing ever stops. There is only a minor delay, but nothing ever stops. Things move on. I learned this hard way. A lot of times we feel I'm indisposable from the organization. Who thinks they're indisposable? Particularly in startups. We think we're indisposable. Every business will move on. Nobody is indisposable. We'll have to move away from that culture. So when we recognize that reality, my reality is by me, dear friends, then we have this great understanding. Because now we're looking from, I created the situation. So we don't blame others. It's not the colleague who did this for you. Even in a teamwork, somebody else needed to do it. Remember, there is always our role in a team. How much inspiration that I'm able to give? How are my words? Did I help them at the right time when there is an opportunity? See, in a team, there is always constant messages to each of us that come getting. You say accidentally stumble across somebody else's work. It's a large team. You're not supposed to review, but accidentally stumble across somebody else's work. If you're very instantly aware and say, why is this other team's work is coming to me? Why am I reading about this suddenly, this article, or why someone's telling me? That may be the reason, that may be something that you can go and then help them. But we just simply brush it aside and say, oh, it's not my work, so I'll not bother about it. In the right moment, when it comes to us to go and then help because you have that gift and talent, we don't do it. So we always recognize that everything is happening. So then what happens? That member would have screwed it up, and so it'll come as a failure. And then we start blaming and say, who did this? Who did that? Many times we are ignoring things that are happening there. We're sweeping under the carpet with a survival mode. So we move away from it. We learn some of it, emotion, the intelligence. So, but then the spiritual understanding is there. I'm the one who's drawing the situation, not somebody else creating for me. Then you go deeper and say, what can I do to help to resolve it as opposed to blame it? You're not problem-oriented or solution-oriented. Blame to ownership is happening the moment we recognize, deeply understand this, friends. Anything, my revenue loss, my business growth, profit loss, employees leaving, everything starts with me because I am setting up the situations for my learning. So next time a critical employee leaves, don't worry about it and say, it is giving an opportunity to bring out my best talent to demonstrate that I too can stand up to the challenge and then actually still deliver. That's how we become our best, right? And it's thrown into challenges. A son and father was going for stealing. I was talking about a story in the evening. They're robbers, right? So they go for robbery. And so this father, the son is first time. So the father takes the son and then goes into the house. Nobody was there. They broke into the house. And then he takes the son and says, you go into his bedroom, into the cupboard, go into the cupboard. And then hide yourself there. Just search for it and then go there. As the son go and search for something, you go there. As he goes into the cupboard, then he closes the cupboard. He comes out, closes the bedroom latch, and then goes away. The father goes away. So a few hours later, son comes home and is furious and the father and said, what did you do? But for my strength to survive, I couldn't have come here today. I would have been probably in some jail. I somehow escaped and came. It happens. We are put to tough situations. We emerge out always best. We realize our inner core strength. A lot of times we are taking crisis, but we can also be active We can active, become more proactive in ownership and then taking to realize ourselves. Like my mom, I was still deeply surprised, right? She joined this program called Gudakesha, Pramod, beautiful young chap, teaching these techniques, right? Gudakesha used to be staying awake for the whole night, and she was awake for 40 nights. It's a 40-day program. If you felt sleepy, you sit down and sleep. At 73 years, she's experimenting on herself. That's absolutely fine. She finished the program. She realized her true strength. It's a big, right? If you don't sleep, you don't lie down at all for 40 days. And then only thing you are get feeling sleepy, you're sitting down and then meditating, and maybe you're jerking off here and there a bit, but not like, 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. Half an hour might go into it, meditation. You're sure that there is so much potential in you. So then why bother? I mean, there's no blame at all. Ownership. People are not there. Okay, I can do it by myself. Quietly, you'll go and do your work. Even if somebody is not coming and helping you or are there with you, they may have their own problems. Even they should have done it, not done. While you will be true, you'll not leave things sleep under the carpet, but you are absolutely are taking ownership. And the last thing, dear friends, last two things. So unlimited opportunity. So we recognize that infinite field is there for you and as for the other person. So there's no scarcity consciousness. So the first thing it has to happen in businesses is to compete against people within our own team. Compete. We have to avoid going away from this healthy competition to I want to excel. I want to be like Mother Teresa in doing the highest level of service. I want to be like this person in doing highest amount of knowledge sharing. Take inspiration, but not feel low or sad that okay, somebody is going ahead of me, and so then we start competing because that's scarcity consciousness, poverty consciousness. We move away from the poverty to prosperity. We are happy for a colleague, we're happy for the other division, we're happy for the competition that they're also growing, and then we also can grow because there is enough, rather than trying to derail the right into badmouth competition, badmouth people behind. Because everything we do, we are creating a situation for ourselves, dear friends. So healthy competition must come to excel, to bring our excellence out further, not a competition to dominate and then bring people down, bring companies down. Great. Buddha Seva Foundation is doing this work. There are any number of spiritual organizations that are doing the same work. Great. How does it matter whether we teach meditation or somebody else teaches meditation? And goal is that we all need to think this with this understanding. That's all. I'm always happy for every organization doing the same work. And lastly, we recognize that as much as we are doing it, dear friends, this intelligence is doing it. We know several situations where suddenly out of nowhere, we get this deep insight. Out of nowhere, this insight that I must work with IBM came. Now it appeared very contrary to the entire plan that company made of somebody else we have to work. Out of nowhere it comes, but then we latch onto it. I was never expecting that I'll get an opportunity to work at Pyramid Valley to serve. But out of nowhere it came, the least expected. I don't even know the person who came and then offered this to me. The role to be a player role. But I took that. Out of nowhere things coming. Well, where is this nowhere coming from? They're not just random events happening. They are very, very meaningfully set up. So there is this intelligence constantly helping. You want to get better? It is saying, hey, Mukherjee wants to get better, wants to get experience life more. And that means I'm helping myself. So let me give opportunity. Give that insight. Do this program, which is giving you a lot more strength. So a lot of times these programs that come in our way, look at them as ways of opportunities to grow in your spiritual understanding as much as in our office and work. So we move from mind to heart. We play into the more intuition. That's what it means. that we recognize that there's always some higher intelligence. So we constantly play into our intuitions, into our emotions, into feelings, and then go with it as opposed to go with a plan if required. So, when something is wrong, first thing is your heart is telling. If you feel anything negative, then pay close attention to this. If you have a person walked in, or suddenly something is coming up and you feel a little bit negative, then it's a good idea to think about this and feel, and then see, am I, that work, that task, that travel I'm taking up, is it right? Slow down. Mind to heart. So dear friends, spiritual quotient, when we understand this, we have a new culture in our organization, a different employee, different leader, different perspective. So work becomes joy, work becomes creation. Thank you very much.